We are going to pretend this is a microphone because whenever I watch like commentary videos or like just any video, I always like take them more seriously whenever the person speaking is holding a microphone. So I'm going to be holding a fake microphone so that you can take my very unconventional opinions a bit more seriously. So yeah.
I completely forgot about the microphone later in the vid BTWLOLL.
Okay, so I watched all the movies that were nominated for Best Picture for 2026, and I thought, wait, why don't I make a video ranking them? Also, I was like, oh my god, the Oscars are happening. I should do this like right now and capitalize off of this. Number 10 is Train Dreams. That's right, it's a good movie, but I ranked it low. You'll know why. Train Dreams tells the story of a logger, a guy who cuts trees in early 20th century America, so around like the World War I era. The movie tells the story of his life as he experiences love and loss, all that depressing stuff. My mistake when watching it was I was a bit too jolly when I was watching it. I was a bit too in a good mood, if that makes sense. And I wasn't able to immerse myself in the movie and feel the emotions it was evoking. I wasn't that much of a fan. I still could see why people think it's good. It's just not for me. In the end, like, I guess spoiler alert, the main character dies when he's old. The narrator says that like nothing was left of this guy. No one remembered him. He was just completely forgotten. Like a whole human life was just forgotten. Makes you think, wow, no one's gonna remember me in a century. Well, most people. Maybe you might become a legend, I don't know. Or like you will be an impactful person. When they said that, I thought he did cut trees. He did contribute to, building things using wood. That was something. It's just no one's gonna remember him, but his legacy is that he helped build stuff, I guess, if that makes sense. So yeah. Also, the narrator sounded too much like Trump. I don't know if it was just me. I thought the narrator sounded like Trump. It was so distracting. Anyways, number 9 is Hamlet. That's right. A movie that everybody loves. I put it in number 9. Hamlet is a historical fiction about Anne Hathaway and William Shakespeare, and not Anne Hathaway the actress. There was another Anne Hathaway. It is a story of how they, fell in love or whatever, and like how a loss in their family inspired the creation of the play Hamlet. It was a very hard watch for me. A lot of people loved this movie. A lot of people hype it up. It was like seeing a nightmare. Like, oh my god, these people's lives are so horrible. The main thing I was thinking when watching this was, wow, thank god I am born in the 21st century and not in the medieval era, because their lives looked like hell. I know like the movie is not the only way to find out about how people lived back then, but like based on my knowledge of like history and stuff, life was genuinely so difficult. Like, oh my god, hell was really on earth back then. We are really lucky right now that we've evolved. I don't think we talk enough about how grateful we should be that we were born at this time. You know, think about that. Anyways, about the movie, I digressed. I don't know, I thought it was so sad. I had to like detach myself because I really was not in the mood to be sad. I thought the acting was very amazing, especially from Jessie Buckley. I thought she like, you know what I mean? Also the kid who played Hamlet, he was a very good actor. I gave it a 3.5 stars because like I see why people think it's good, but it's not for me, you know? Next movie, Sentimental Value at number 8. This movie is about two sisters who reunite with their estranged father, Gustav, who is a movie director. He casted his daughter, Nora, to be in his like big comeback movie. When Nora says no, he goes on to cast a Hollywood actress. When he replaces his daughter with a Hollywood actress, it adds a bit of complications to their already complex family dynamics, and that's like basically the whole thing about the movie. It explores generational trauma and how trauma can be confined within a house, and the house in the movie is very personified. I can see all this like stuff, but for it was not really that much for me. I liked when they put that song in the end, Cannock Chase. Yeah, it's a nice song. That's pretty much it. It's not that much memorable to me. It's not my cup of tea. I don't like dramas that much, you know. I was born yesterday. Please don't hate me for not liking your beloved movies. Number 7, F1. I know, that's right. I put F1 above these other movies that were more critically positively received than this. But it's my opinion, guys. F1 is about a driver called Sonny Hayes who used to be in his prime in the 1990s until he had an accident that made him fall from grace. But then 30 years later, this owner of like a struggling Formula One team tries to recruit him to make their team better. And in that team, Sonny Hayes has to work with a younger guy, and they just try to work out how to work together and like how to, you know, win. I just enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. It might be recency bias because I saw it like 3 days ago. I don't even care about Formula One or cars. No offense, people who like Formula One or cars. The only cars thing I like is the Pixar movies. Cars 1, 2, and 3. I love cars, guys. Anyways, at first when I watched this, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, bruh, I don't want to watch like cars driving around for 2.5 hours. I think that's how long it was. It was quite long for a movie about freaking like cars. Like, it's not that serious. Then, eventually, I found that the races were the most entertaining part of the movie. They were so tense, they were so full of action. It was so, you know what I mean? It also reminded me of the Cars movies, which just made me so nostalgic. Aside from the racing, though, I felt like the plot was very basic. It was interesting, it was engaging for me to watch, but the plot was very basic. It was like guy falling from his prime, tries to return to his prime, meets rookie, you know, woe is me, you know, all that kind of stuff. It reminded me a lot of Cars, again, the movies, because I felt like Sonny Hayes reminded me of Doc Hudson. You know what I mean? So it wasn't life-changing, but I just enjoyed the movie a lot. The cinematography, though, was very plain. But I mean, what does a car movie need? Does it really need like interesting cinematography? It's just about cars. But you know, it makes sense. It's made by Apple. They probably filmed it with an iPhone 15 or something. I don't know. Not to say it's bad. It was actually very high quality. It's just so corporate, if that makes sense. Anyways, next movie, The Secret Agent. The Secret Agent is a thriller about a researcher who is on the run from the government, I believe, in 1970s Brazil. The story is essentially being told through the lens of modern day researchers who are studying this guy from the 1970s, if that makes sense. It was like a embedded narrative. I felt the dialogue and the acting was very good. It felt very realistic. I felt like I was intruding other people's conversations. That's how realistic it felt. It was a very slow burn movie because the first half was just world building. They were just introducing characters, the environment. It was interesting to me, but at the same time, I was like, hello, when is like something, where's the catch? It also seemed very detailed. I thought that when someone who had lived during that era sees this movie, they would probably think, yeah, that's how it looked like. That's what I thought. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm ignorant. I don't know about Brazil. I do not know. I'm not from there. So my favorite part was the last 40 minutes because that's when the stakes were very high and there was a lot of tension. That was when the guys found the researcher and they were chasing him. Like, I thought it was cinema. And also, I don't know, spoiler alert, I guess, in the end, the researchers, the modern ones, they meet the son of this old researcher, which was really cool to see. And it's played by the same actor. I believe Wagner, I think his name is pronounced Wagner Moore.
Wagner.
In a perfect world, he should win Best Actor. He is Pablo Escobar, guys. Next movie, number 5, is Begonia, or the Bald Emma Stone movie. So it's about two conspiracy-obsessed guys who kidnap a CEO, believing that she is an alien intent on destroying Earth. Very interesting, very weird. The whole time when I was watching it, I was just like, dude, is she actually an alien? Like, she really could be an alien. These guys might not actually be crazy. That's how it made me feel. The messages of this movie make you think about how dystopian the world is and, all that kind of stuff. It also has a very eerie vibe. The score is so good, it could make like a scene of the main character riding a bicycle look so scary. The ending was insane. I just thought it was really cool. I liked the color grading. I think that's correct. I liked how it was so orange and red, and those were the main colors that were available in the movie. I like how creative this movie is. I thought the acting was good. I felt so bad for the guy who was friends with Jesse Plemons' character, but I don't remember his name. I'm so sorry. There's just a lot of little things that I like about this movie. So yeah, next movie. One battle after another. This movie is about ex-revolutionaries whose past catches up to them and they go on a mission to save Leonardo DiCaprio's daughter in the movie. I forgot his character's name. Wait. Bob Ferguson. I thought it was very fun. It was like so full of action. It's very woke. It was so long, but it felt like every part deserved to be there. So I just thought this was one of the only movies in here that actually deserved to be that long. The other movies here shouldn't have been that long. That's what I just think. And I just love movies that have lots of characters and lots of things going on at the same time. That's why I really love the Dark Knight trilogy. Another thing I like about this movie is it doesn't take itself too seriously for like a very political movie. But at the same time, it's also not too goofy. So it's like perfectly in between. So it's like kind of lighthearted in a way. Next movie, Marty Supreme. Marty Supreme is a movie about Marty Mauser who was willing to do anything just to compete in a international table tennis competition. The movie made me both fascinated and disgusted. It was mostly because of Marty's personality. He was so manipulative and he was so apathetic towards people. It was just so insane to see what bro was willing to do just to compete in a freaking table tennis competition. Dude, table tennis is not that serious. And you know what's funny? Spoiler alert, in the end, he doesn't even end up competing because he got banned. It makes all this, his whole pursuit, so useless. All the people he hurt for nothing. Then he faces this reality that he's been avoiding the whole movie, which is he's a father. He has to go be a father now. You know how most movies they look like, 2025. This one, it had like specific grain and it made it look like the 1950s. A lot of the movies in this list do have that. It's just, I really like when they do have it. Next movie, number 2 is Frankenstein. Frankenstein is the story of the creation of a monster by Dr. Frankenstein. It's a classic, The way that this movie adapts it is so unique and so clever. I just thought it was so good. It mostly emphasizes on the fact that the doctor is the monster and the monster that he created is actually innocent. He's not the monster that people think he is. There's so much more I would analyze about the movie, but I really don't want to make that too long. But my favorite thing about the movie was just the message it was giving and how it rewrote a bit of the story. I think it made it very much better. And I love the gothic setting so much. I just love movies that take place in the Victorian era and are like gothic. I just love it. It's such a good movie. Next movie. My favorite movie of all the Best Picture nominees, number 1 is Sinners. Sinners is a movie about two twin brothers who return to their hometown to restart over after having led really troubled lives. When they go back to their hometown, they find out that there's something very evil there. Okay, the first half was dedicated to world building. It just builds the environment, it introduces characters, and it's just it does that very well. Very good portrayal of how life used to look like back then. I think the whole cast did very well. The movie picks up so quickly in like the second half. Spoiler alert, I think that's when Mary bites one of the twins. I forgot their names. I forgot which one. The sequence of events that took place after Mary bit one of the twin brothers was just insane. It had me on the edge of my seat. I love the fantastical part. I love how there's vampires. I love how it's also low-key biblical and how it's could be also related to historical things that happened at the time. This should win Best Picture for me. The script is also very rich. It's so good. I just think this movie is something I would rewatch. It's something memorable to me. Although my favorite part was mostly after the second half, I just I really liked it a lot. Yeah, I don't know when this is coming out. Might be a bit too late after the Oscars. I have to upload the second part of the vlog that I posted before this. So yeah, this video is gonna be sandwiched between two vlogs that are supposed to be related to each other, which is like funny, but you know. But yeah, thank you for watching. Hope this was interesting. I'll try to improve my speaking because I do say a lot of filler words. So goodbye.